Hey guys, Hillary Deaver here. I am going to start a Worrisome Wednesday broadcast, episode 1. So, the first time I've been on here. My name's Hillary Deaver. I live in Amarillo, Texas. Am a retired school teacher, retired early, and I own a creative studio called Creator Space. I am passionate about kids being creative. In my years of teaching and as a school librarian, I found that kids do not do art. Fourth graders didn't know how to use scissors. And so here I am, let me put it this way, to share some ways that we can get our kids off TV, or if they're watching TV, then here are some tips and tricks for you to use to see if they're watching the right things. Okay, just a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Amarillo. I have lived more than 40 years, so it gives you a little bit of background on my experience. I have my bachelor's degree in elementary education. I went back and got my master's degree in information science, which is where my love for technology comes from. But then I became a librarian because lots of information and cataloging there. I taught middle schoolers technology, so I did a lot of lessons on how to be digital citizens, how to guide themselves when they get on the internet. It's easy for us parents to say, no, you can't be on that, you can't be on that, don't get on that. But my belief, and a lot of this is going to be my opinion, is that kids need to be put out there to where they have to start filtering themselves. A little bit about my family. My husband is a middle school teacher as well. Yes, we're crazy. And then we have a 9-year-old boy. My son started watching YouTube, and not just kids YouTube, probably at the age of 2. We found out that YouTube kind of gives you ads of things that are similar to the shows that your kids watch, but every once in a while, and probably more often than you think, shows and ads and videos pop up that are not appropriate for kids. So I am passionate about kids being able to filter for themselves. My son is 9 again, and he has heard all the cuss words. He knows when and not if, but when he comes across a video on YouTube that has a cuss word, then it's time to turn that one off and go to the next one. I hope and feel like by the time he's a teenager, then he will be able to decide, oh, this is not good for me. I need to be getting off of this. So anyway, episodes called Worrisome Wednesday. All parents are worried about this internet world, this digital world, this TV streaming. And so I'm here to teach you some tips and tricks and give you some tools to help guide your kids in the right direction. I put a poll out to my followers, and their top worry was inappropriate TV shows and movies. So that's what we're going to start with episode 1. I don't plan on being here more than 15 or 20 minutes, so stick with me. Go get a drink. Kick the kids out. Tell them, go be creative outside. I'm learning about something that's going to help our family, and let's get in on this. Okay, so again, my son is very good about asking, like, what is this rated? Should we watch it? But these are things that I taught him, so he understands that there are bad things out in the world. I'm sad that I had to teach my 5-year-old that. I started telling him at 5. There are things on here that are not good for kids. We do not want our kids to grow up too fast. I know when I was a middle school teacher that cussing is just the norm. Just topic after topic of things that I did not even know what these things were when I was a teenager. But they see it, hear it, learn it in everything that they're watching. And I hope that you do the same as me and teach our kids that there are things that are not okay for kids. It's hard. We have to band together as parents. We have to teach our kids that it's not okay to do that. And no, you're not going to be the one that says, but everybody else is doing it, because hopefully your friend group, your parent groups are going to kind of band together, which we're like llamas with our kids, or tigers, right? We have to say, no, we're not doing this, and you're not the only one not doing this, because we have to, I mean, this world is tough. This world is tough. So we have to filter what they see, and we have to teach them how to filter themselves. So when my son says, can I watch a show? Can I watch this movie? We talk about, what is it rated? Video games, or any apps that he gets on his phone or whatever. So how do you find out how things are rated? I'm going to go to 2 different websites to show you that you can find the ratings to things. Even Netflix shows, Nickelodeon shows, or whatever, they're all rated. So the first website I'm going to show you about is called the TV Boss, thetvboss.org. So I'm going to share my screen with you here, thetvboss.org. So give me a second. This is episode 1. And so I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. Okay. So here is the tvboss.org. It says, you make the rules, know the ratings. I can go on and on about how I was a teacher and as a parent that kids love rules. I know that you think they're going to hate you for it, but they're not. It's okay for them to say, that's not okay for me. This is not part of what we do in our family. And so they hate you at first, but then they are going to always tell my son, like, we're going to be the Devers. That's our last name. And the Devers don't do this. And we are proud about our family. Okay. So you make the rules, you know the ratings. Know the ratings here at the top, but there's TV ratings, and then there's movie ratings. So I think we're going to kind of stick with TV shows, because that's kind of what people were asking for. But on this tvboss.org, he tells you what the ratings mean. Okay. So on Netflix or on Paramount Plus or whatever, you see these TVY, TVY7. So what do they mean? This website will tell us. Okay. So TVY, I'm assuming Y is for youth, is for appropriate for all children. It says that they're specifically designed for very young audience, so 2 to 7. So maybe Y stands for young. We're learning together here. I would think Y was youth. So there we go. It says they're appropriate for kids 2 to 7, or designed for them. TVY7 says 7 or above. It may be more appropriate for children who have acquired the developmental skills to distinguish between make-believe and reality. So that, I think they're making that line at 7 and above. TVY7FV, we all know what these mean, violent, fantasy and violence, I'm sorry, directed to older children, okay, where fantasy violence may be more intense and more combative than other TV shows. So it may not be real fighting and real blood, but it would be fantasy violence. Okay. Whoops, I went too fast there. TVG, general. So it says most parents would find this appropriate for all ages. TVPG, we know these as movie ratings, parental guidance. The theme itself may call for parental guidance, or the program contains one or more of the following. Okay. So that might be something that, and I'll show you where you can look up. You can see exactly, is it sexual situations, or is it violence? Is it just language? Because unfortunately my son, 9, mind you, so crazy. Sometimes it's okay for him to watch shows with cuss words. That's all there's out there. I don't know. Oh, don't get me started. TV 14, it is not for children 14 and under, and MA for mature. It says unsuitable for children under 17. Okay. So again, there's the content labels. We're all kind of familiar with those. And then it shows you the audience label, and then it tells you. So this show would have dialogue, language, sexual situations. That kind of gives you some guidance. Okay. And like I said, these are on all streaming programs that I've seen at my house. Okay, and know this: I don't know it all. My husband and I've been a teacher for 18 years. Recently resigned because I want kids to be creative. So this is just the knowledge that I have. Okay, I do not know it all. I am just giving my opinion. I'm giving you some tools so you can go out and do your own thing. But at my house, we have Netflix, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Disney Plus. We watch all the shows. I am here to tell you that my son has way more screen time than he should, or people say that he should. So, hey, we're all doing the best we can, right? All right, so I'm going to go back to just myself here. See if there's any comments. Oh, thank you, Jolie. So that's the first tool that I'm giving you is the tvboss.org. There's tons more information on these websites. So if you have time to go back in and check them out, if that's something that you want me to just delve into one of the websites more than the other, I could do that on another episode. While you're here, we're going to have cell phones and kids episode next week. So if you just joined us, we're doing TV ratings. The first, oh goodness, the first website or tool I showed was the tvboss.org. Sorry, you have to watch me type. Okay. So those are the ratings. Now we know it gives you some little, does it have violent sexual innuendos or whatever. Another website that I came across because I felt like these two websites that I've used often for teenagers and my son coming up are for older kids. So I'm just going to briefly show you one if you have littles at home. It's called raisewildflowers.com. Isn't that cute? Just her website made me like her. raisewildflowers.com. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to show you a little bit about her. Before I really like take advice from people on websites, I do my research on who's writing this blog or who's writing these websites, and she seems pretty good. Her credentials are great. She's again sharing her opinion on these things, and so you kind of just have to take everything at will and see if you like these things. And if you don't, there are tons more out there. So raisewildflowers.com. I'm going to share my screen with you again. So she has made a rubric for my teacher friends as a way to grade something. Let me show you my screen again. She has made a rubric to rate or grade children's TV shows. All right. So actually I am at raisewildflowers.com/TV-reviews. Okay. You'll notice at the top she has tons of stuff about screen time. She gives free courses. This is where I went to see about her. Let's go back there. Her name is Jerica Sains. She created this in 2020. I wonder what she was doing or what her kids were doing at home a lot during that time. But she's trying to protect early childhood, raise kind, happy, and resilient children. Isn't that what we're all trying to do? So this is her, meet Jerica. So she has her master's in education and early childhood. So you'll notice this is a lot about the little shows. Bachelor's degree in family and child development. She has 15 years of professional experience working with young children. And then she was an owner of a toddler school. Okay, so if you have littles, this might be a website better for you if you're wanting some other smaller kiddo shows. Okay, so when you first get on this TV reviews, it starts at The Snowy Day as a cartoon. She rates it 97 out of 100, 95 out of 100. This one looks so fun. I've never seen Trash Truck. But this one has 90 out of 100. And so you can just scroll to the side and see a lot of these. You'll notice that, or I noticed that I'm not aware of these. But these are the highest rated shows. She talks about her scoring process. And I've noticed, so she talks a lot about how shows for littles and even bigs are flashy. The voices are loud. It says that they have attention grabbing and high stress scenes. It's developmentally inappropriate modeling of negative behavior. Anybody watch Caillou? So the kids have some crazy relationships with their parents. They treat their parents disrespectfully. And this has become humor for our kids. I don't know if it started, I guess, when people were roasting other people. But these things that are considered inappropriate behavior for kids, treating others in a bad way, making jokes, your mama jokes, it's become funny to kids. So anyway, she said only a handful of children's shows have passed her rubric. So they're slower shows. They have lower natural color tones. They don't use unnatural visuals like cartoony, like dancing letters, swirling shapes, flashing colors, and high contrast backgrounds to hold the child's attention. Again, this world is crazy. So as a teacher or a teacher in the past, we are always saying, and I know parents do too, how are we going to hold these kids' attention? And maybe it's because they're watching these loud, flashy, crazy shows. I don't know. So anyway, she goes on and on about how these are the best children's shows. She has a list of the worst shows. And I think, oh my gosh, every show my son watched is on the list. Okay, Blue's Clues was one of my favorites. So I don't know. This is her opinion again. This is a tool for you to kind of browse and figure out. Coco Melon's on this list. Gabby's Dollhouse, Paw Patrol. I mean, we watch Paw Patrol like crazy. And so I'm thinking, like, did I ruin my son's brain? I don't know. So it's something to look into. Let's click on screen time here. Here's her research articles. Here's TV reviews. She has a TV detox course. So if there's something that you really want to look into. And she says, again, as I'm saying, we're not experts. So these are tools. These are opinions. These are things. So she says that she's done research. So things that you can do on that website. And there's tons more there. Okay. Last but not least, I saved my favorite website that I go to for guidance for what my kiddo should watch and for what teenagers should watch when I was in the classroom. And to back me up, again, parents are llamas, kids are tigers, and they're saying, Mom, everybody's watching it. Everybody's watching it. I need to watch it. And so I've taught my son that I can look this up. We can see what the rating is. We can see if it's good for kids. And so it's not just me saying no. Mom said no. And why? Because I said. With the internet out there and kids learning how to Google things when they're in first grade, they want to know the why. And there's the why out there. So my most favorite website is commonsensemedia.org. I'll put that in the comments here. commonsensemedia.org. While I'm sharing these three websites, I am not being paid or sponsored by these people. These are tools that I use as a parent and as a teacher, and I just want to share them with you for this Worrisome Wednesday. So commonsensemedia.org has a lot of tools going on. So we're going to go right into the TV show's ratings. I'm going to show you how I used it because my son wanted to watch a popular show last fall. And we are going to, I'm going to show you how I used it, how it backed me up, how my son read the website because they look up everything on the internet. And it tells you all the details about what words are said in the show, what the sexual innuendo or the situations include. So it goes, and some shows have more detail than others. There are parent reviews that you can read. If it, they say, well, my 12-year-old is really mature. She reads these type of books and this and that, and so maybe the show is okay, even though it's rated, TV 14. Sorry, I'm trying to think of. Anyway, oh goodness. Okay, so sorry. Any questions while I'm waiting and trying to get myself organized here? I'm going to go to commonsensemedia.org. I just put COM. I go there so often that it's right there. Questions for me? Ideas? Anything else you want me to cover? So this is commonsensemedia.org. I'm going to share my screen with you again. So my son wanted to watch the Squid Games. Didn't all kids? Again, he's 9. And so I had to educate myself, other than going and watching the Squid Games, which I had no time or effort or want to watch the Squid Games. I went to commonsensemedia.org and said, is this good for my kid? So let me share my screen, and I'm just going to show you what I did. commonsensemedia.org. Up here, there's a search button that says find movies, books, and more. So I'm just going to put Squid Games. Oops, if I could spell. Press enter. Okay, and so this shows the TV show, Squid Game. It says 16 plus. K-thriller has extreme violence, sex, and some moral lessons. Okay, so I've never watched these video reviews, but I think that they would be good. I'm going to go into see full review. And so this, I showed my son, is this it? And he's like, yeah, I want to watch Squid Games. Well, it says 16 plus. So let's go and see. So parents say 16 plus, kids say 14 plus. I've never seen one that is not lower for what kids say. It only has 3 out of 5 stars. So let's scroll down, and it tells you, this is the parent's guide on it. Does it have educational value? No. Positive messages, 1 out of 5. Positive role models. Anyway, you can read that. Language, 3 out of 5. Drinking, drugs, and smoking. Okay, so it says what parents need to know. Adults have sex. There are threats of sexual violence. Women are grabbed by their hair and beaten. Okay, and so 90, you can see 90 parents say something about it. This parent says 10 plus. You will see a dead body that got shot, swearing, and sex. That's her title. So anybody, I mean, and like I said, there's anybody on the internet, anybody can say anything about it. But I can scroll down, and so I'm showing my son 10 plus, 12 plus. Oh, I want to see all 90. 10 plus, 12 plus, 15 plus, 14 plus. Okay, JG said it's 4 plus. It's okay. My 4-year-old daughter watched it. 18 plus, 16 plus, 9 plus. It says it's okay for 9 plus as long as parents skip the sex scenes. 18 plus, 17 plus. So you can just see on and on. But I kind of liked this. I said, let's see what kids say about it. And so an 11-year-old watched it, I guess, and they say you should be 18 to watch it. I'll leave that there so you can read it for a second. So I'm reading this to my 9-year-old, and I don't, I don't think he knows what the word sex means. I don't know, but I just skipped on and I said there's aggressive kissing, there's gore, eyeballs are being torn out, shooting, blood spattering, surgeries, corpse, blood, stabbing, beating, murder, kidnapping, bones breaking, shootings to the head. Ugh. And so I'm telling him, like, this is what a kid says about it. Oops. Here's a 13-year-old says it needs to be age 14 or up. and they use kid words. Look, it's a great TV show, but a lot of sus stuff. If you have kiddos that played Among Us, they'll know what sus means. But I think this is great because other kids are talking to other kids. If you teach your kid about sex and prostitution and your kid can manage a lot of blood and gore, then I absolutely recommend this. Too much. 16 plus, 13 plus, 15 plus, 18 plus. So these are kids saying Squid Game. No. Anyway, 13 plus. So you can go, I'm letting my opinion come out too often here. But you can show your kids, here's what other kids say about the show that you're wanting to watch. Okay. I'm going to click on TV here. There's TV reviews, best TV list, best shows on Netflix, Disney, or more, common sense selections for TV. I love that their website is called Common Sense, but the people at Common Sense have selected shows for TV. Best shows on Disney Plus and best shows on Netflix. Let's look and see what they say. I'm curious. So you can, let's filter by age. I have a kid from 2 to 12. I just want to see those on Netflix. Click apply. Best TV shows on Netflix. Okay. So this, are they? Yep. I'm thinking they're, I don't know. I was thinking they were in alphabetical order. Oh, they're by release date. Okay. So if you're saying, we're going to have Netflix night, we're going to find something to watch, you could give yourself a tool ahead of time and come and look at this. So let's say I have a 10-year-old at home or a 9-year-old at home, and I want to see like which one might we watch tonight. So Chimp Empire looks okay. Denal Coil, I don't know how to say that, I'm so sorry. My Dad the Bounty Hunter tells us that it's great for intergalactic family bonding time. So even just these at the top, and then you can see the full review, just like we did on Squid Games. It tells us it's a wildlife documentary. This personalization helps viewers connect. Animals in the show do what they do in nature: hunt, fight, and mate. Mating occurs between adult animals in a charged environment, as males are known to be aggressive toward females in the tribe. So I'm thinking that would be the only thing that would be risque. Look at the educational value. It says a little bit of sex, romance, and nudity. Let's see. Chimp nudity. Wants to mate with a female. The narrator says that she wants to keep him calm, implying that sexual aggression is an issue. He signals to her to follow him, and through their young baby is watching whatever she's doing and attempts to interfere. The two adults mate. So this tells you exactly what happens in the scenes. No drinking, drugs, or smoking. No language. Okay. Again, you can, oh, look, this must be new. No parents have said anything. No kids have said anything. Anyway, you'll see while we're on here, and I'll quit going on and on and on, but there's movies, TV, books, games, podcasts, apps. We'll talk more about that when we talk about cell phones. Tons and tons and tons of resources on this page. Let's see. what Common Sense says we should watch. Common Sense selections. Let's look for most recent. Most recent shows that Common Sense says we should watch. For age 12 plus, Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies. Did they redo Grease? It's a Grease prequel. Because sex is a theme. Crossover, family-friendly sports drama. These sound fun. Anyway, peruse, browse. If you have a show specifically that your kids want to watch, inform yourself. Let them look at this website. Inform them. Get your tools together. Talk to their friends, parents. Pass along commonsensemedia.org. All right, I'm going to quit sharing my screen here. Oops. Here we go. There is tons of things on video games. Someone just said, is there anything on video games? Let me go share my screen again, just a second. So sorry, here we go. Video games on, I'll go back and show you. So I just went over to games. I went to game reviews. It tells you how old is your kid. Our kid is 9. Next, to choose your platforms. We have PlayStation. You can limit your kids on, let's say, maybe we can have a little bit of violence and scariness. A little bit of language. I don't really want any sex, romance, or nudity, and no drinking, drugs, and smoking. Hell, okay. I just came up with something. I don't know. Comment in the comments if you have an answer. But like, how did I decide that we could have a little bit of violence, we could have a little bit of language, but not sex or nudity or drinking or drugs? How do we decide? I don't know. It's just conversations that we need to have. I'm hoping that Worrisome Wednesday can be a place where we can have those conversations. Someone educate me on this, because this is what I'm picking for my kid. So it says put your kid's name in so we can save these preferences for next time. You don't have to get an account. You could get a free account. Okay. I'm glad that we're doing this together. Let's just go up here. So my son plays Fortnite. Hey, we're real here. If you need to know something, I'll be honest with you. So here's the game, Fortnite. It says age 13 plus. I have shown him this. It's rated T for teen. And we can talk about video game ratings again in one of the other episodes, because they're a little bit different. So look, kids say that parents say, I'm sorry, that kids should be 12 plus. Kids say they could be 10 plus. I think it'll be fun as we go through Worrisome Wednesday episodes to see if there's ever one that's lower when kids say that's lower. Let's see. Has a little bit of educational value. So it says there's no sex, no drinking, drugs, or smoking. Just 1 out of 5 for language. There's no language in dialogue, but online chat can expose young players. So if your kiddos play online, it's a whole nother thing. But this tells you it's a survival game. It puts up 100 players against each other. The game is cartoonish style. That's how I told myself it's okay if he's shooting people because they look like cartoons. The violence, while persistent, it isn't bloody or gory, even though you're using melee weapons and firearms to eliminate opponents. So, yeah, it's a whole new ball game. Video games. They spawn, they die, and you spawn, you're back. Anyway, it's a whole nother worrisome episode. But yes, there are video game ratings out there. Thank you for asking that question. Anybody else have anything? Any other questions? So I put those websites in the comments, the tvboss.org. Tons more there than I showed you, but he explained all the TV ratings to you. RaiseWildflowers.com is for littles, TV shows for littles. And then commonsensemedia.org is just the world of tools for parents that have kids on technology. So, stayed longer than I thought I would. With all that being said, again, I'm very deeper. I am here just because I'm passionate about kids using technology. I want them to use technology. We as parents need tools to guide them in the right direction. And I'll say it again, I think kids need to be able to filter themselves as well. So if your kid starts a TV show, if my kid starts a TV show and I'm hearing, oh, that's another thing just about us a little bit. He does not have a TV in his room. He doesn't play video games in his room. So when he watches shows or TV or movie or plays video games, he's in the living room. We have another like little living area that we can go to if we don't want to watch his shows, or he can go to if he doesn't want to watch our shows, but we share a family TV. And if we hear something that's inappropriate, I'll say, Jackson, do you think that that's good for us? And then, you know, still at 9, already at 9, he's already thinking, if I turn it down, they won't hear the cussing. But mom ears are on it. I got eyes in the back of my head. We just have to be on our kids, y'all, as this world is crazy. Anyway, until next time, Worrisome Wednesday. I'll be here at 7 p.m. every Wednesday for a while. We'll see how this kind of picks up. We are going to do smartphones, phones, and apps. I guess tablets and apps too, but any kind of device that has apps on it, and phones for kids. Our 9-year-old has a phone. It's a calling machine. Oh, he plays a few games. Anyway, let's be real with each other. Let's come here. Whoops, sorry. Let's come here on Wednesday evenings, pour you a glass of wine if you want, and we will figure this technology with kids out. We'll do it together. I'm going to give you tools. I would love to have other people educate me, comment, send the love, share this. Until next time, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.